making Paddington Bear and all his little accessories. Take some brown modelling paste or gum paste, whichever you're using, roll it into a ball and then into like a cone shape, just like that. Next, take a smaller amount, this is going to be for the legs, roll it into a cylinder shape and cut it on an angle so that the legs will fit. Add a little bit of gum glue to the top of those legs and attach them to the body, making sure they're both the same size. Next, take your tool and just add some little stripes down the legs to create the fur effect. Next, take a smaller part of the brown, roll it into a ball and then flatten it with your finger. Attach those to the end of the foot, this will be the paws, and with your small modelling tool make some indents on the top to make the paws and some more fur on the bottom. Next, take an edible pen and just draw in where you've put the paw marks. Here I've got some darker sugar paste and a round cutter. This is going to be for the bottom of the paws, the little round bit. Just attach that to the bottom. Next is for the coat. I've got some royal blue icing here, which I roll out thinly and just cut a line on the top, then measure it around the back to see how much I need to take off the bottom part. And then I cut it on an angle so that when it goes round the body it'll meet slightly. You want it slightly open at the front, and just attach that to round the body. If it's a little bit short, don't worry about it, just squeeze it together with your fingers till you get it to where you need it. Next is a stitching tool. I just go around all the outside edges with this. You can use a toothpick if you don't have one of these. All the way around the body and the top. Next is the pockets. Just cut out the same size and add stitching around the pockets apart from the top, and just attach those to the side of the body. You can use your tool here to just open the pocket slightly at the top, creates a bit more of an effect. And here I'm doing more stitching on a thinner piece of the blue. This is going to go across the front of the body. You want 3 or 4 on here, just across the front. I tend to stick them on and then cut them, which makes it a lot easier. Next is little brown buttons. You only need tiny bits here and just roll them into like a cylinder sort of shape and just attach them to the end of the blue strips you've just put on. I did realise afterwards that the buttons should be on the other side of the coat, so I changed that. Here I'm doing the collar, a long strip of blue fondant. Put a bit of gum glue around the top of the collar, stick that on and just cut it to where you want it on the body, and that's your collar. There, that's where I moved the button. Just add a little bit of fur on the body where you can see the body. And now is the arms. It's similar sort of thing to the legs, but roll it out a bit thinner. Cut on an angle yet again, measure on the body and see where you want it to be, and make both arms the same. Here you pinch the top part where the paw's going to go, so you pinch it sort of all the way around so as it creates a lip, and attach the arms to the body and bend them round and glue them in place. This one I'm sending in the post, so I needed it all to be glued together so that it wouldn't break in the post. Well, hopefully won't. Add a bit of stitching. Next is the paws, a little bit of brown again, cut it in half, make it into a circle, and then add some fur effect on it, and just stick that really into that part there and stick it to the body wherever or however you want. And then add the paw at the bottom there. Here I'm doing the head, measure it for size, add a bit of fur all the way around, and then make the nose, which is a smaller piece, just flatten down, add fur onto that, and then stick that just below the front of the face so as you leave room for the eyes. Add a little mouth and a nose. Which is like that. And then you want 2 black eyes, which are very, very tiny. Just add a little bit of gum glue and stick those on there. Then get a cocktail stick. Sorry, this is a little bit out of shot. Put a cocktail stick into your teddy bear and put the head on. Next is the hat. You roll it out into a cylinder sort of shape but point the ends. Then nip it all the way around so as it'll fit snug onto the head. And then once you've got it onto the head, just bend it all the way down so as it's stuck to the head okay. Then you want the outside bit, roll it into a long shape and cut, and just stick that around the head. Flatten it at the top so as it looks as though it's got a bit of movement, and just cut it off at the back. And there you have Paddington. Next, for the accessories. These are for the sandwiches. So I've took a lighter brown and a red, and I've used my square cutter here. You can cut them out by hand if you want, and just place really the red inside the brown like a sandwich, and then cut it into an angle as if it's a sandwich cut into triangles. I did a few of these, so this part gets a little bit boring. Just keep going until you find what you want and how many sandwiches you want. You can make them bigger or smaller, it's up to you. Next I'm making Paddington Station sign. So I've cut out a small red and a smaller white and stick that into the middle. Then I'm rolling out my blue, measure it for size, cut off the ends till you get it to where you want it, and that's the Paddington Station sign. Just let that dry. Now for the suitcase, just cut out a square, go around with the scribing tool to make the indents around the suitcase as if it's an opening. Handle, long cylinder shape, bent over and stuck onto the top. leaf around the front, tiny little squares, just stick them around to create that effect. And that's your suitcase. And there's the finished result. Thanks for watching. Please leave me a thumbs up.